This is the Practical Homeopathy Podcast, episode number 131.
Hi, I'm Joette Calabrese, and I welcome you to our healthcare movement, yours, mine, and the countless men and women across the globe who have retaken control of their family's health with practical homeopathy. So, for the next few minutes, let's link our arms as I demystify homeopathy, what was once considered an esoteric paradigm, into an understandable, reproducible, safe, and effective healthcare solution available to all. This is the medicine you've been searching for, my unique brand of homeopathy, practical homeopathy. Janie.
Hi, Joette.
Is that your trailer that you're in? Is it a trailer or an RV?
It's a truck. It's a Ford E450. It's 26 foot long. I have a DOT number. Like, if you'd have told me 30 years ago I was going to be a truck driving, practice owning, holistic vet, I'd have told you were nuts.
Yes.
You can see the remedies in the background hanging.
I see that. So you have them hang. Oh, so much to talk about here, Janie. I got so much I want you to tell us about. Please pronounce your last name because I don't want to ruin it.
Well, I go by Dr. Janie and it's Wilson, but I'm married to a Schreibeis.
Schreibeis.
But I'm Dr. Wilson.
Okay, that makes it super easy.
Easy to pronounce, yeah.
Yes, hi, Dr. Wilson. It is such a pleasure to get to know you better. You've been in the academy for 1 year, right?
Well, when it started this summer, yes.
Yes.
We're on week 13, something like that.
You're moving along into it now. You haven't gone a full year. You're into week 13. It's very exciting to have you. So I wish that I could describe to people, and I'm going to try to do that with your help, what I'm looking at here. But tell us what you do.
Well, I mean, I do a lot of things, but so I'm a small animal holistic vet. I graduated from Purdue 30 years ago. They just had their 30-year reunion. I couldn't go. And I just a few weeks ago celebrated 10 years of my practice. It's called On a Roll Housecalls.
On a Roll, ROLL, because you're on wheels.
I am. I thought that was clever. And I'm on a roll doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So I have a 26-foot truck that is my vet office. I have in the background, you can see I got digital x-ray. I have an ultrasound, point of care ultrasound. I have back in the back room, I can do blood work, like a 12 panel in 12 minutes. I have 2 different lasers. I have homeopathy. You can see in the back there. That's my favorite modality to use. But I've done some Chinese herb, Western herbs and nutritional food supplementation, not
different than synthetic.
Big difference, yes. And so I can do house calls, obviously, in the truck. But I've gotten so busy with my holistic practice that if I'm driving, I'm not seeing patients. So a lot of times I stay parked and they come to me where I am in my office. That way I can get a lot more patients seen. I live in Southeast Indiana. They're coming from Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana, and I even had one come from Tennessee. So
when they come in, Dr. Wilson, do you have a waiting room?
No.
So in other words, you're seeing one at a time and they need to maybe stay in their car and wait a while, or they can sit there perhaps and sit off to the side a little bit. Is that how you work it out?
Well, outside the truck is parked inside a storage unit.
Okay.
So that way it's protected, and there's kind of an office. I call it the kitchen. There's like a little table and chairs and people can wait there. But the way I schedule it, there's not tons of people coming in.
Yes. You know how long it takes to see each patient.
Yeah, which is a lot longer than what I call fast food medicine. So, a new
By
patient.
the time you palpate and you do a couple of tests and you ask the questions, etc., then yes, then it can be a lot longer. Certainly.
Yeah, it's at least an hour visit for a new patient.
Yes. What are your follow-ups like? How often do you follow up? And for how long are each of them generally?
My clients can text me. So a lot of it's, that way through texting. I'll check on them, see how they're doing. We'll plan a recheck if needed, if things aren't going the right direction. It just kind of depends, but
yeah. But on an average, that's about how it works.
Mm-hmm.
And how many patients are you seeing in a day?
That also will depend on if these are well checks, puppies, or if it's a chronic. Again, people are finding me because I'm doing my best to get to the root of the problem, and they're coming to me with seizures or, skin problems or thyroid issues or, whatever it is. That takes a lot more time.
Yes.
It could be 5 or 6 to 10 in a day.
Yes. And so when you say small animals, will you take goats?
I'm more of a
cat dog.
Yeah, cat dog.
Yes.
Cat dog. Yeah.
Okay. So how about smaller? How about a bird?
I have seen about every kind of species in the past when I worked for other people. And the last bird I saw bit my finger right before I had to play. I'm a guitar player and I had to play at a concert somewhere. And I'm like, I x-rayed my own finger because I was afraid it was broken. So that was about the last time I saw a bird.
What a great story. So, Janie, I have to say, I'm looking at your door that's open and you've got a hanging kind of a vinyl, almost like not quite shoe holder, but maybe a shoe holder. And you've got the remedies in there. So you must have them in alphabetical order.
Want to go see?
Let's go visit. I would love to be able
to take a little. So this is the back room. My technician, Erin, is amazing, and she keeps me organized. So they are in alphabetized. These are like for jewelry or hair ties, things like that.
Yes, it's an excellent method. Yeah. Yes.
So we've got them, in order by potency and alphabetical order. Yes. We have one in the bathroom too. So that's more the 30 potencies.
Yes. 30. Yes. So you use a lot of 200s.
Yeah, I would say.
And you're using Banerjee protocols, and probably before you even came to our academy, you were using some Banerjee protocols too. Is that right, Janie?
I was. I bought the Banerjee book because I've listened to you for years, probably 7 or 8 years. I found you on Facebook and I was like, oh my gosh, you're my people, like your teachings, your philosophies, everything just resonated. So, I'm building a practice, but I'm trying to soak in everything, all your lives I could watch, or I'd look things up on the blog and then I'd apply it to my practice. And I tried Banerjee protocols before I probably really even knew what I was doing. But it had success. And so to be able to be a part of your academy this year is just a dream come true. And I've learned so much.
I love it, Janie. It's people like you with great curiosity. And I mean, you don't go to sleep at night, right?
There's no time for that.
No, I know. So people always ask me this question. Isn't it harder to treat an animal because they don't tell you how they feel? I have my answer for that, but I'd like your answer because you are the expert in this on a day-to-day basis. Tell the listeners how they can expect to get the right remedy if they're not having answers being given to them verbally.
Well, it's the symptoms. And, I can ask a good history of the owner. Well, that's being a vet, period. The dog's not telling me anything. So I have to go off of history, symptoms, blood tests, things like that. That's what
observation. It's
observation.
Sense of observation. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the longer you do it, I'm sure your observational skills become even more keen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you may have missed it 5 years ago, but this time you're not going to miss that again.
Right.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Well, I've learned what to look for.
Yes. Yes. And when you know what to look for as a vet, even as a conventionally trained vet, and you know what to look for as a trained homeopath, when you mesh those two together, that really is a recipe for better success than one would expect, without being able to ask a question that's answered verbally.
Yeah. I feel like having this additional knowledge just gives me such a leg up on everything for treating my patients. And I'm just so thankful to have this medicine. I believe it is God's medicine. And I've used it in my family so much, especially here lately. And as a vet, I want to empower my clients. I don't want them to need me all the time and for this drug or that drug or an antibiotic or this or that. I want to teach and empower them. So when I get a new young mom with a puppy that comes in, I tell her about you. Oh. And I make her write it down in her phone or whatever, because we use homeopathy right away with certain things. And so if they haven't heard of it, which a lot of my people have, because again, we kind of run in the same circles. So they seek me out because I do these things. But I recommend they get a homeopathic kit to just have on hand. And some of my new puppies, my clients can just text me, and then it has saved emergency room visits because I'm like, get your kit out. This is what you need. They're panicking in the moment. So
yes.
Like a bee sting. I had a little puppy, got stung by a bee. She's panicking. I'm like, no, you've got your kit. Get your kit out. And we did APIS. And she's like, within 5 minutes, it was like it never even happened. And
yeah, there's no other medicine quite like that.
Exactly. And knowing that I'm, maybe stirring the curiosity of these moms to not just for their dogs, but for their families.
Right.
So I'm, that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah. You want them to have the power over their lives that they thought they didn't have.
Yeah.
I wish people could see what I see right now in your background. It looks like an ER.
Yeah.
It's perfection. It looks like a medical room. Not only does it look fresh and clean and shiny and organized, but it looks like you've got every piece of equipment any vet or doc would ever want.
I do, and more. Because I do laser therapy, and we can do dental cleanings in here as well.
Really?
Yeah.
So what are the most common? I'm sure you were figuring I would ask you this question. What are the most common conditions that you treat? I mean, generally speaking, top 5 or 10. Maybe let's go with 5.
Skin, gut, same as people.
Just the same as
they're eating the same junk food that we are.
Yes,
so they're getting the same diseases, the same gut issues, the same leak, whether it's leaky gut, whatever.
Irritable bowel.
All the same stuff. We're seeing the same cancers. We're seeing diabetes. They get
anxiety.
Anxiety is huge. Huge.
Yes. Well, it's generational when you think about the generations of dogs before, especially if they're bred, how many generations they've had before them that have been injected and treated,
right.
and treated in foods, et cetera, canned food. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So what do you recommend as a general diet? I'm sure that you adjusted somewhat accordingly, but.
Well, I feed raw. But
you're talking my language,
okay.
Jane. Yes.
I have one dog. He's a little Chiweenie. His name is Rudy. He was our child replacement when our daughter went off to college. We needed, a new dog.
Yeah.
So he's 10 pounds. So he's not very big. So, I know, especially these days, affording these kinds of foods are harder because just even our food at the grocery store is difficult. But he gets raw that comes already balanced and everything because
so it's got some organs in it.
Yeah, organ meat.
It comes frozen.
Yes, organ meat is huge
for animals.
So important.
Dogs. Yep.
Yes, my heart patients, I recommend they feed hearts
So you must be a Weston A. Pricer.
I have become that way, yes. And my daughter-in-law, son, and new grandbaby are that way as well. And I've got them using homeopathy for the baby.
Doesn't it make your life easier that it's just everyone gets it?
Yeah.
Everyone gets it. Yes. Yes. So do you have a local pet store that carries this raw meat that's mixed for animals?
No, it's all online. They ship it on dry ice, that kind of thing.
Yep.
So,
it's an excellent idea. And then you stock up, keep it in the freezer, defrost it the morning of, then that night they get it probably, right? Or defrost it the night before, and there it is.
Yep. Yeah. He loves it.
That's fabulous, because I had a dog, and you've probably heard me talk about Buster, who was raised, it was a home birth. I mean, we had his mother with us. He was born, that litter was at home. So he was not tinkered with, and they were raised on raw milk, raw eggs from our own chickens. The milk was from down the road. I gave them raw meat and organ meats, and then a switch flipped in him. He did not want that when he got much older. It was very hard for him. He would not eat it. And so I would still mix in the raw egg yolks. I would still mix in some raw milk. I would put in a little bit of meat with the organ meat and flesh. But he was really fussy, and he would only eat this. I've forgotten what kind of kibble it was. It killed me to give him kibble. I did not want to do that, but he wasn't eating. So I just ended up doing it. My guess is you have a better solution than what I came up with.
Gently cooked. Sometimes when they're older, they just can't handle the raw.
Well, that is what I did. I would gently cook it. You're absolutely right. I would put it in a little bone stock and just, and simmer it a little bit.
In Chinese medicine, and I'm by no means like a specialist in traditional Chinese medicine, but old and cold, that's what happens. They get old and cold, and so they need
warmth. They need the warmth.
They need the warm food. So a lot of my senior dogs, I recommended more gently cooked.
Okay. Well, then I don't feel too bad about it, because I put very little of that kibble in, and we thought it was pretty decent, but it was still kibble. Really did not want to put that in there, but it encouraged him to eat the rest, so that it did. Yeah. And I did gently cook it. I'd forgotten that's exactly what I had done. So, I feel a little bit better about that. He did live to 18 and a half for
that's amazing.
Yeah. Poodle and Bichon. So it is good. Yeah. It's good. Yes. So this has been fascinating, Janie. I don't want to take too much more of your time. I wanted people just to get a feel for how you work. Can people contact you and work with you online through Zoom or other medium?
So I will say I'm pretty busy already just with my local practice. And currently, even if I were, and I was doing telemedicine consults even before COVID. I think post-COVID, that became more of a thing. But it's harder for me to schedule because I'm already booked out several weeks in advance. But it's something I'm considering, but timing is hard. I am busy. So if you're in this area,
yes,
and are willing to drive to Southeast Indiana, where I'm at, I'm happy to.
Well, I hope you inspire other vets by them listening to this story, and that other vets can be inspired so that we can get more and more vets on this path. This is important work.
Yeah. And I had sent you the before and after pictures of those two patients of mine.
Yes.
That had oral tumors.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. Again,
oral tumors. That was the Banerjee protocol for oral tumor that I used.
Yes, ma'am.
And again, I know homeopathy works. I know it does. I know it's amazing. But when it does, I'm giddy.
I know.
Oh my gosh. This is
I know. When it's something that dramatic. I will tell you, Janie, after all these years, I've been doing this for 36 years. And I have to say that when I see a case such as that shift, it still gets me excited and happy. I should just take it in my stride, but you can't, because when you see someone turn from such a paltry state to robust health, it's a heady experience.
It was a 12-year-old black lab who he basically just wanted palliative care. And I had, just learned and got from the Om pharmacy
Yes.
the remedy for the oral tumor, and I had it in a liquid on the truck. I asked him, I said, he was willing to try it. And in like 6 weeks, it totally shrank. And I had to find out from his wife at the bank. Like, he didn't tell me, but she's like,
sometimes we don't. Sometimes people, they believe in it and we don't.
yeah. We bought that dog better quality time. And even just looking at the dog, you can see the before and the after, just a return to better health and not in pain, as much pain and quality of life. And then in the second one, it was another dog, completely shrank in 6 weeks. This oral tumor that was deforming the nose and the eye, it was starting to affect the eye, and it completely shrank. And that was on Maggie. The first one was Fancy, was her name.
Yes.
But Maggie lived another 1.5 years till almost 15.
And that's what we're looking for, is quality of life.
Exactly.
Do we want them to live eternally? Not on this earth. We want everybody to go at the right time, but we don't want them to suffer on the way there. Yeah. It's quality of life. Yes.
Yeah. They can live with it. And we didn't need the diagnosis. We didn't need the biopsy. We didn't need, this and that, and spend thousands and thousands of dollars on the test. I mean, that can be done. We can refer you if you want to do that. But it acted, and it was just incredible. So
then suddenly those kinds of things begin to look, not in every case. Certainly there are times when we do need tests, but sometimes we can start looking at it as these tests being superfluous. How much do we really need this test? Let's give this a go, see how this protocol acts. If we don't see a shift and we still need to know more, okay, now we can potentially look at another possibility. But to be able to have a first line protocol and be able to move right ahead into it right away is really very freeing.
Yeah. I always give clients their options. I can always refer to a specialist, or we can do these things. And I always give informed consent about things, because that seems to be lacking somewhat these days. And then, a lot of them don't or can't spend the money on things like that, and they're willing to give it a try. And now they're believers. Yeah.
They're hooked. Yep. And they'll soon have a bag contained in their closet hanging on the door with all of their remedies all organized.
Yeah.
Well, Jane, it's been a privilege. Really, I've so enjoyed this. Thank you for agreeing to this. And I'm hoping that it inspires not only other vets, but just people in general to see that someone professional such as you is counting on this to such a degree. So thank you again for meeting with me today.
Well, thank you, Joette. It's my pleasure to meet you. Like I said, I've just admired you for so long, and just to be a part of your academy is amazing. I'm learning so much.
I love it. I love it. Take care of yourself and all of your dogs and cats and small animals. And I'll see you in class.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
It's my honor to share many lessons on this simple method of using homeopathy for free, without affiliates or advertising, here in my podcasts, but also my blog posts and Monday Night Lives. But it's critical that you learn how to use these medicines properly. These podcasts should serve as only the beginning of your training. Peruse joetteslearningcenter.com to find fun study group opportunities and in-depth courses developed by subject. So with the proper training, you can join the thousands of students before you in developing the confidence and competence to protect the health of your family and loved ones with my brand of homeopathy, Practical Homeopathy.
You just listened to a podcast from internationally acclaimed homeopath, public speaker, and author, the founder of the Academy of Practical Homeopathy, Joette Calabrese. Joette's podcasts are available on all your favorite podcast apps. To learn more and find out if homeopathy is a good fit for your health strategy, visit practicalhomeopathy.com.